Should you save money with the Dwarf Mini? Or spend more for the imaging capability of the Dwarf 3? The Mini is small, light and simple. The Dwarf 3 has a larger sensor, higher resolution and more processing headroom. I tested them side by side and the result? Far closer than I expected. So which one should you buy? Let's find out. Alright, now just before we get into it, Dwarf Lab did send me this Dwarf 3 so I can do this comparison against the Dwarf Mini. And I can assure you they have not had any import in what I say, how I do my tests, or my final thoughts. All thoughts are my own. This test has also been conducted over multiple nights due to really bad weather. And it's probably the worst weather I've seen here in South Australia in such a long time. When we're doing our testing, we're going to go through each segment and we're going to give these smart telescopes a score at the end of each segment. So by the time we get to the end of this video, we'll see which one scores the best. Let's not waste any more time. Let's start this comparison. For the first test segment, we're going to look at size. So I think it's one thing that everyone tends to sort of look at, but we won't waste too much time on it because the most important part is getting out there and shooting. But yes, the Dwarf Mini does fit in the palm of my hands. You've probably seen that in other reviews. They all fit in everyone's hand. And the Dwarf 3 is slightly bigger, but they're both not massive at all. The Dwarf 3 isn't huge. It's still a tiny telescope. If you do have a Dwarf 3 and a Dwarf Mini, I found they both fit in the same bag that comes with the Dwarf 3 really easily. So that's definitely a bonus if you got both of them. But other than that, they fit in your camera bag super well. For this part of the comparison, I'm going to give a point to the Dwarf Mini just purely and simply because of its size and weight. It's really easy to pack in a bag and take away with you anywhere you go. So the setup was really easy. There was no real physical difference with putting them on a tripod or putting them into EQ mode, but there is one difference. You hear someone doing skids in the background. There is one difference with the Dwarf 3, and that is you have to do dark frames manually. The Dwarf Mini does the dark frames all by itself, but with this you have to put the sunglasses on, or that's what I call them anyway, which is the solar lens. Put the sunglasses on and do some dark frames before you start shooting. And if you don't do that, you'll end up with some weird artifacts. So that is the difference with the setup. Now for setup simplicity and ease of use for beginners, I've decided to give the Dwarf Mini another point. Dwarf Mini 2 and Dwarf 3 0. Will the Dwarf 3 come back? Let's find out. Now we're going to set up and get ready to start shooting our first target. The target tonight is going to be the Lagoon Nebula. It's up here somewhere, and we're going to set these two telescopes off together. We're going to run the same settings. We're going to run a gain of 90. We're running a 15-second shutter speed, and we're also going to use the duo filter and 100 frames. Now the reason why I'm doing a gain of 90 in 15 seconds is we are in a light polluted area and I don't want to overexpose the image. So we're going to set them off and we're going to see how they go. So let's go. I've got both dwarf telescopes tracking behind me here right now. And one thing that really stood out to me was how quickly the Mini reached a colourful, satisfying result. And the Mini certainly got there a bit faster. The Dwarf 3 did take a little bit longer, but you can see that it's got finer detail and it is sharper, particularly with longer integration times. And here's the result. First up, we have the Dwarf 3. It looks good, The colours are nice and it's pulled out a solid amount of detail from those 100 frames. Now, let's take a look at the Dwarf Mini. And this one surprised me. To my eye, the Mini has resolved more detail and stronger colour from the same 100 frames, and it also seems to have got there faster. So for this round, I'm going to give the point to the Dwarf Mini. That makes it Dwarf Mini 3, Dwarf 3 0. Let me know in the comments if you agree with the call. But now the question is, can the Dwarf 3 finally get a point on the board? Now, if you want honest astrophotography tests like this one, then consider subscribing to the channel. I have a heap more tests and comparison and reviews coming very, very soon. One thing I do have to cover is the app. Now, I have had some questions recently. Is the app different between the Dwarf Mini or the Dwarf 3? And the answer is no. Well, not entirely. The Dwarf 3 has a different panorama function and it also has inbuilt tracking as well. The general app remains completely the same between the two. One thing I will mention is Dwarf Labs are brilliant at updating their apps. They're very innovative. They're not afraid to try new things. They push out a lot of software updates and they do listen to what you've got to say. So if you do have any suggestions, do push them forward to Dwarf Lab. So I don't think we'll waste any time on this. It's going to be a hard one to score because they both use the same apps. So, well, it probably won't be hard to score because I'm going to give them 1 point each for app and usability. One thing that you would have noticed on the tests that I've done shooting targets is the field of view. The field of view is completely different between these two smart telescopes. The Dwarf Mini has a more cropped in view due to its 2 megapixel sensor, which is obviously smaller, and the Dwarf 3 has a larger image sensor, which allows you to get a wider field of view. So you get more data around your image compared to the Dwarf Mini. Neither one is right or wrong. It's just set for two different kinds of photographers, or if you're after two different kinds of images. The Dwarf 3 has the ability to let you crop right in on your image and not lose as much image quality as doing the same thing on the Dwarf Mini. Again, there's no right or wrong. For this section, I'm going to give the Dwarf 3 a point because I like the way that it frames. Let me know in the comments whether you would have gone something different. So who are these two smart telescopes for? Well, it comes down to your values. If you're after simplicity, portability, and quick, satisfying results, then the Dwarf Mini is certainly going to be for you. If you're after a higher resolution, more flexibility in post, and more creative headroom, then the Dwarf 3 is going to be for you. And you might be thinking right now, Matt, actually both of these may suit my values. So that could be an option for you to think about in the future. Do I need both of these smart telescopes? Now, this next question I'm about to share with you may also help you make your mind up between the two telescopes. And the question I've been asked a lot is, hey Matt, can the Dwarf range of telescopes produce images with good enough quality to print? And the answer is yes. The Dwarf Mini is great for viewing, sharing, and smaller prints. The Dwarf 3 gives you much more flexibility for larger prints and cropping and post-processing. So here is my final verdict. For most photographers, I would definitely recommend the Dwarf Mini, and for specialist photographers or someone that wants to get more out of their images, then Dwarf 3 is the option. Both of them are really, really good. They're super, super fun to use. They've opened up the skies to me here in my backyard, and I thank Dwarf Labs for that because it's something that I thought I'd never dive into because I thought smart telescopes were way too complex. Since I've started using Dwarf Labs smart telescopes, everything has been so easy and it's just an adventure in your own backyard. So the Dwarf Mini is the overall winner. So well done, Dwarf Mini, and Dwarf 3, you're still an awesome telescope. That's it, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.